Father Becker, Father Gitter, Mr. and Mrs. Lavore, any honored guests, and my brothers. My priest hero is a man of great age and even greater wisdom, whose life faced many joys and trials while serving Holy Mother Church in this archdiocese. My priest hero is Father George Welsbacher, a man who has had a deep impact on me in the short time that I have gotten to know him this summer. The beauty of Father George Welsbacher's priesthood is evident in many ways. However, they can be broken down into three main ideas. The first, for his ability to stand up for the truth. The second, for his deep love of others. And the third, for his intense joy he has had living out the life of a priest. The first aspect of living out the priesthood through the defense of truth stems from Father Welsbacher's deep love of Christ while living in a difficult time in the Church's history. Serving as a priest during post-Vatican II was a challenge for any clergy who wanted to remain Orthodox, but this was especially challenging for Father Welsbacher as a history professor here at the University of St. Thomas. Being ordained in 1951, he experienced the tremendous shifts in the Church which led to utter confusion in both doctrine and practices, especially in some of his fellow priests. On one such occasion, a campus priest living out the spirit of Vatican II said to him, "Martin Luther may have failed to reform the Church, but we won't." To which Father Welsbacher asked him, "Do not worry about how Christ will judge your soul." His vigor at standing up for the truth is still as strong today as it ever was. At around the age of 90, Father Welsbacher's homilies remind me of a mix between a football announcer, a Minnesotan version of a Baptist preacher, and the Catechism of the Catholic Church in living form. Nevertheless, defending the truth and defending it bluntly is a gift that Father Welsbacher has. The second aspect of living out the priesthood is Father Welsbacher's deep love of others. I've experienced this when Father Welsbacher was kind enough to bring Stephen, Matthias, and I out to lunch in order to provide us his priestly wisdom. Father Welsbacher truly searches for knowledge, owning more than 1,500 books. He has both studiositas and curiositas at times, but uses this all for the glory of God and the conversion of sinners. Relying on intellectual excellence, Father Welsbacher is able to challenge the modern conception of the split between reason and faith and easily defeat it. It may seem that Father Welsbacher is a man of all brains, but no physical action in loving others, but this couldn't be farther from the truth. Once early in his priesthood, he ran into a burning building to save a man trapped inside. Sadly, he was unable to find the man, but he was pulled out by seconds by the firefighters before the building collapsed. Overall, Father Welsbacher exemplifies love of others, both in his intellectual pursuits and his willingness to give his life for the good of others. The third aspect of living out the priesthood is Father Welsbacher's intense love and joy in living out his vocation. Even in his old age, Father Welsbacher is a very joyful man of the life he has lived for Christ and the fulfillment he has received because of it. This is especially evident in the many stories he tells of his own life. Like any old priest, they love to tell stories more and more, and a lot of these are quite humorous. And this is especially evident in the stories about being in the St. Paul Cathedral Boys Choir. One of my favorites overall from him, but he explained vividly of the dislike between the altar boys and the choir boys during Mass. So much so that they would often have gang fights in the alleyways of St. Paul. So it's pretty tough stuff. On another occasion of brotherly love, one of the choir boys was shooting spitballs at the altar servers during Mass, and one of them shot it a little too far and hit the Archbishop. So, the scolding Father Welsbacher told me and Stephen Matthias he explained as the worst 10 minutes of his entire life by the choir director. Nevertheless, the intense joy Father Welsbacher has expressed in his priesthood and the fulfillment of that, and the amazing stories he shares, gives me great hope in the gift of the Catholic priesthood. Our role in the church today, brothers, was beautifully worded by Father Welsbacher and has left a lasting impact on my heart. Quote, although Satan may have won the battle in the hearts of many of the laity and clergy during the last 40 years, God has ultimately prevailed, and now we have great hope in the new generations of priests to right the wrongs of the past. Brothers, you are that generation. Praise be Jesus Christ.
Amen.